The universe knew I had a fucked up ankle.
Hey, cheers to you, bud.
So this is
ice?
This is no, I thought it was. I touched it.
Wow.
It's probably close.
Look at that.
It
See our breath this morning.
rained a little bit yesterday.
A little chilly, eh?
So the chairs are well, there's a word to describe them, soaked.
Ah.
Hey dude, scoot over a little. Get your
Sorry.
there you go, dude. Don't you know what I mean? We gotta fill the frame.
We just have a conversation like this today.
Good morning, Scotty.
Good morning.
How are you?
Just sitting here with our coffees.
And then we have to like simultaneously sip. I made a cactus, by the way, for this morning's latte art. Intentionally, no. Unintentionally, yes. Well, obviously that would be the opposite of the no that I gave for the other word that was the opposite. But yeah, it's finally getting cold in Arizona.
Yep.
My ankle's still pretty broken, which is why you guys know we did the pod last time on the couch.
What if we switch it up again and just like go downstairs and sit on our balcony, but we turn our chairs like kind of facing the sunrise?
The balcony already would have been a good idea.
Let's do that.
But no, I like this.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. There's immaculate vibes out here this morning.
There is it is something. The smell.
Oh my
morning.
god, it smells like winter.
It smells like cold.
It smells like... Who does all the big Christmas songs?
Mariah Carey.
No, that's the woman who's the man.
Bieber.
Bieber. Bieber's your Christmas artist who comes to mind?
I mean, he sang with Mariah Carey.
Come on, Scotty.
Bublé.
Bublé. It smells like Michael Bublé out here.
Smells like Bublé. It does smell like a Bublé out here.
So Scotty,
Yes, sir.
talk to us, dude. You're the topic guy this week.
Oh, dude.
You're like the guy who shows up prepared. You're the Ambry of this episode.
Let me take out my notes.
So we've got 3 things we can start with. We can either
Which
do
subtopic do you want?
Oh shit. That's so good.
Oh, dude, we gotta start there.
Oh boy. Is it
Okay.
Christmassy?
It is not.
Then don't even talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. What is
Okay,
it?
let me write down some topics really quick.
Talk to us. What do we got?
Is love really blind?
No.
Next topic.
You said it like it was so deep, but no, love is not blind. You know what I always say, and this is like something I firmly believe. If I'm with a girl, and
I love these guys over here. I'm sorry. There's a guy wearing a headlight working on the apartments over there because it's dark.
yeah,
And all I see is this little like headlight keep going around. Sorry. ADHD.
it's
Continue.
okay. If I'm with a girl, right,
Yes.
and we're hanging out,
Yes.
I've already checked the physical thing off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the physical thing is just the entry point. It's the surface level thing. It's the first thing you can know.
Yeah.
When you go up to a girl, she could be the shittiest person in the world, but you're just taking the chance that she's not.
Yeah.
But you're going up to her based on her looks, or maybe she looks like she's nice. Sure, but like, I think surface level is like what gets you in the door. And then it's like, all right, let me learn everything about you on the inside, and then we'll figure out if this is a thing.
Exactly.
And that's what dates are for.
And I agree in the exact same. I'm like right there with you, just because I hate when people are like, well, like, do looks really matter? Looks really, like, think about it in the sense of like you're going through the grocery store. If you see like a couple of avocados sitting there and one looks like it got thrown against a wall, you're probably not going to grab that avocado. You know, it's because it looks good, it's enticing, it looks good to you, it attracts you, and so that brings you in. The busted avocado could taste great.
Scotty's comparing women to avocados this morning.
I'm not going to take the chance.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, but you know, and all of us have like our physical things that we like to look at, we enjoy, and it's like
Titties?
those two.
Okay, sorry.
And you just kind of have to be okay with that. I feel like the people who are like love is blind are the people who were just like they've given up on trying.
No, those people that wrote a TV show.
That's
It's called Love is Blind.
Oh, that's right. Is it a TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's
Is it
really
good?
weird.
Yeah.
It's super fake, but it's... I don't know. This is the worst thing I've ever watched, but then I somehow ended up like 3 episodes in. So they got me.
Hey, we've all been there.
But I would say this. I think on the contrary, a lot of people do get too obsessive over looks. I think a big concept when you're going to a relationship is realizing this. Nobody's perfect. I myself have had a tendency in my life to shoot for the moon, strive for the stars. I don't know if one of those works. And sometimes I get caught up. It's like, you're going to find the perfect person for you. You're not going to find the perfect person because it doesn't exist and because you are not a perfect person.
Yes.
And so I think physically, we have all these things that are, these ideas of these things we need in somebody. In reality, it's like, you might find someone who actually has a couple of these so-called flaws or doesn't have a couple of these things that you think you need, you might find them to be the most beautiful person you've ever seen.
100%.
And I also think, I will say personality definitely enhances looks.
Yes.
And there have been circumstances where, like, it wasn't that first glance, like, oh my God, who is that?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You know that reminds me of Holy Garbanzo Beans from Kim Bill. But over time, it almost like looks alter. But I will say for longevity purposes in a relationship, I think that's where being attractive. That's where the attraction becomes important.
Yeah.
I think you have to find someone attractive enough to you.
Yep.
That it lasts. That you know what I mean? Like, I think if you convince yourself that personality is everything, you're gonna wake up one day and be like, oh fuck. Am I attracted to this person that I'm with every day? So and if you weren't attracted to them, are you going to be? I don't know.
And then running on that thought of, because we've gotten past Love is Blind, we talked about this morning really quick. There is a feeling that you get with certain people that you just kind of, you don't get with other people.
Yeah.
Once you're in the door, once you're past like that, you know, wow, this person's beautiful, wow, this person's good looking to me, there's a feeling.
Yeah.
Describe that feeling to me, because I can describe it too, but I think we kind of feel it in the same way.
I don't think it's one feeling.
Okay.
I felt different feelings with different people. And the best way I can describe it is the way that Halsey described it. And I agree and I disagree with her on this spectrum.
Okay.
She had someone tell her one time that that feeling of butterflies you get with somebody is like this feeling of uncomfort in a way. Like, it's uncomfortable. It's a good uncomfortable. It's a positive feeling, but it's in a way uncomfortable. You are uncomfortable around that person. And again, I'm probably butchering what she said, but this is how I remember it. She was saying when you meet someone and you don't have that butterfly feeling, typically it's like oh fuck, that's not good because I've had it in the past. Why don't I feel about this person the way I felt about the last person? I will say my first relationship I ever had, I had butterflies. Like, I remember that feeling. It was just like giggly little, all I thought about, whatever. Almost looking back on it, I can remember how it made me feel, and it was crazy. I never got that again.
Yeah.
And so this is where I actually, the part that I disagree with Halsey is almost like where I can feel though. She says, like, if you don't get butterflies, like, find someone that you're so comfortable with that you don't get that uneasy feeling. Because that uneasy feeling, I guess she was attaching negative connotation to it. That's where I disagree. I think butterflies are a good feeling. But what I realized is looking at all my relationships and how I felt, it's like, it's a different feeling every time.
Yeah.
And I think, like, that first time you get the butterfly feeling, you long for it in other relationships. And some of my most successful relationships, I didn't have that. And I think it was the sense of comfort. So I think there is a balance, I'm sure, where there is butterflies and it turns into comfort. But, like, the feeling of butterflies, I actually kind of agree with Halsey in the sense that, like, it can alter your emotion and it is a sense of uncomfort. Like, you are not quite comfortable. You're just enjoying the uncomfort.
Discomfort.
That's a good word. Sorry to get so in depth there.
No,
but
that's good.
That's my take on it.
That's what I want to hear.
I mean, but like for some people, I'm sure there is that feeling with every girl, and I know there is the feeling
every
of,
guy.
Yeah. All I know
we
is
have a female audience.
Do we? No, I'm just kidding. I think we have mostly a female audience.
I think we have mostly females.
But no, I do think that sense of excitement everyone feels in their own way. And that sense of excitement when you meet a new person. I get that when I meet a regular ass person, let alone when I meet a girl. And I've really only had that with like 4 girls in my life. You know what I mean? Like maybe 5. I'll give them 5.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a couple extra out there, you know, that just nothing ever happened. But like for the most part, like girls I've dated / talked to, that's it.
Yeah.
And if I don't get that feeling, that's where it never leads there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a lot the same way, and like I was telling you this morning, like the feeling for me is I turn back into a kid.
Yeah.
I get that childlike, and it's not even like a crush feeling. It's more I just get excited to be around them. Like I get excited when they text me. I get excited when like we decide to make plans. I get excited when they come over. It's like that. Like we always talk about how cute kids with lisps are. It's like, I've got a friend coming over.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a friend coming over. Like, I get that kind of, like, little chill. Like, oh, my gosh, my friends are coming over.
Yeah.
Like, I love that feeling, and I've only had it 2 to 3 times in my life. And 2 times. And both times, I was in a serious relationship with a person, and I really cared about them. And it was, like, every single day I woke up with that feeling, and it never went away. Like, they say, like, the honeymoon stage is a real thing, and I believe that. But once that passed, it was still, like, I was so excited.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's, like, there's a very select few people that you have like that in your life, where they, like, they're just a part of your life. And so, like, when you get around them, you just feel that energy, and you get excited, and it's fresh. And when you're dating them, it's like, you couldn't imagine being away from them for too long, because you just love that feeling so much.
Oh, of course.
But then you just don't want to get addicted to a
comfort.
feeling. Yeah, you don't want to get addicted to the feeling, though. That's the scary part.
Two things. Remind me. Let's go back to honeymoon stage, because that's a good topic.
Okay.
Dang it. See, I was reminding myself to go back to honeymoon, and now I forgot where I was going with this.
Let's pick it with the honeymoon then.
No. This is good. Oh, something I always preach about too is like, whoa, when you're in a big breakup, one of the hardest parts that I've realized about a breakup is your entire support group is that person.
Yeah.
Like, that is who you will go to for everything. I doubt you'll have a significant other that you love to death, and you'll go tell huge news to your brother and no one else.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's out there. People who are super tight. I'm super close to my brother, and me and him have both done that. I mean, I learned at a young age that was his thing. I was like, wait, how come his wife knows this, but not me? Like, what? I thought he would tell me. You know what I mean? But it's like, that is who you go to for everything. And so when you're in a breakup, the hardest part is that transition period where your entire support group is on the person that's leaving. So there's this, like, I almost have felt it to be like 2 days to a week, maybe a couple weeks, where you're transitioning that support all the way back over to your family and friends. And so when you're in limbo in the middle of it, there is this point, right? Like, you can't give and take at the same time. So there's this one point at which you're giving away that support back to your family, or giving away that support from the girl back to your family, where you don't have support. Like, there's this couple days where there's nobody.
You're floating.
Yeah, you don't rely on, you have no one, because you're still trying to transfer back over to your family. I know I sound so tangible.
No, it's real.
But it is.
It's real.
And so in that same sense, backwards, it's a cool feeling now, and I've actually realized this, that you can actually feel it happening in the reverse. You can feel it transferring back over to a person. You can feel, I always, like, that's a good, like, concept for me to notice is, like, when am I, like, how, like, when I'm excited to tell that person things, and, like, because there's no one in my life like I'd update about shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna just send someone a photo like, look at this.
Yeah.
But once that does happen, and, like, these, if you had, like, an issue going on, like, and you get that sense of, like, I need to tell this to this person, like, I'd love to hear that, like, feedback from that person. That's when I feel like is a good, what's the word I'm looking for?
Benchmark.
That was a better one. Indicator that, like, you do feel that certain way about that somebody.
Yeah, and I think that, like, you know, just touching on it as well, that feeling of, you know, wanting to share your wins with somebody else.
Yeah.
And I believe that goes further than just being in a relationship. I think that's a very key thing to look for in the people that are supposed to be around you.
Yeah.
Is when you want to share your wins, share your happiness. Like, things happen to us all the time where we're very proud of ourselves, and I think as people, you're allowed to be proud of yourself, not prideful and live in pride, but be very proud of yourself. And you want to share that because you feel so good about it, and not in a sense of, like, oh, look what I did, but in a sense of sharing this excitement with me because I know you're a friend of mine and I know you're going to be hype.
Yeah.
You know, and I think having that in a relationship is so key.
Well, I think in a relationship too, it turns your wins into our wins.
Exactly.
And because that's, like, if you have a really good partner, like, that partner is a big reason for your wins.
100%.
Like, they are the support group. They are the person who is there talking you through second guessing yourself, or talking you through something that you didn't think you could do, and now they instilled the confidence in you. Again, it goes back to what we said the other day. It's like just people making you confident. I think a perfect partner is somebody that makes you confident, instills
100%.
confidence in you, and is reassuring you that you can do this, and that to not keep your eye off the prize, and to not deter yourself from your goals. Like, I just think that's a team.
I also think that they instill confidence in you.
Yeah.
So, like, we get asked a lot, because one thing that you and I are blessed with is we're naturally confident. You know, we didn't really have to work for it.
But again, it came from something.
Exactly.
It's not natural.
It came, but it was like, it was something that we developed over time and we never had to think about it. We're not figuring it out later in life how to be confident.
Yeah, I'd have to try.
Exactly.
Like one day be like, fuck, I'm not confident. How do I fix this?
Exactly. And I think that's, you know, one thing that you and I were very blessed with. And being able to transfer that to people is such an incredible feeling where you actually can teach somebody how to be more confident. And so, you know, when you're with somebody, and I've seen it with like my past 2 relationships, like they came in I love confident women. Like I love it. And they both came in. But by the time the relationship was over, you know, which is a sad thing to say, both of my relationships ended super clean. Like that was what I'm so blessed in that. But
Say the same time.
yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
but
like,
but it was like both of them ended well, except for the third one didn't, but the 2 did really well. But like when I left those relationships or when we split ways, I was almost proud of the people that they became when they left.
Yeah.
And like I still like touch base with them. We'll still talk once in a while, and it's like just seeing what they're doing now, I'm like, I was a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like crazy. And one of them's married now, and the other one is like,
you were a part of that.
I was a part of that. I got her married.
You taught her all the things that she could take on in her next relationship.
I'm so proud of it. And it's like, it's cool because like when you're really with somebody that you truly, truly love, as long as there's no like animosity and, you know, like anger and stuff like that, you really do love the person. And true love is letting something go even if you're not ready. If it means that it's going to be better for the other person, you have to put that person first.
Yeah.
And I think that once you kind of leave that and you give that person up, it's a different kind of feeling. There's sadness, but there's comfort in the sadness of like, this is the best. Like, you know. No,
I think animosity in a relationship is bad. Like I always have issues with couples that loved each other dearly. Mm-hmm. That sounds so old. For 3 years, for 5 years, for fucking 30 years. We're married for 30 years and raised an entire family of 10. Cheaper by the dozen. And then suddenly fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
And talk the worst about each other.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta get your fucking priorities straight. And listen, it's one thing if one person hurt you. Also, I've been hurt before.
Same.
Animosity is something that is easily let go. You should not feel animosity towards someone you once loved. And again, there are circumstances where animosity is warranted and people did something very shitty. Great. Be a human, feel it, do it.
Yeah.
But if that animosity is built up because you lacked the perspective to realize that person did raise your kids, or that person did sit there and support you for 3 years, or that person was your everything, then that's sad to me. Like, you don't get to hate someone you love that long.
Yeah.
I don't think you do. I don't think that's fair. And I think there can be temporary animosity. There can be a situation where shit unfolds, but you should have a moment where you sit back and reflect and go, how is it that I love this person so much and now I hate them?
Yeah.
Over, what was it over, and is it warranted, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't like that when I see that.
No, I agree.
But I think we should talk about the honeymoon stage.
We should. What do you have to talk about?
I got asked a question the other day.
Okay.
I can't recite the question. It was in my Discord. You know, I got an advice column.
If you guys want to get on Discord and talk to Jordan Beau himself,
it's free.
Discord.
Well, I open it up every once in a while, so they'd have to wait until it's open.
Wait.
But it was something along the lines of like, actually, I'm not even gonna try. I just know the principle I got out of it. It made me start thinking about the honeymoon stage, and like how it doesn't. Like, some people think the honeymoon stage should last forever. Some people think the honeymoon stage is that discomfort stage where you are not comfortable with the person yet, where your emotions are at a high and you're not thinking clearly, blah, blah, blah. Despite whatever the honeymoon phase is, I believe in an altered version of a honeymoon phase should last forever. Yes. And I believe in it in this sense. This is like advice I will give to everyone out there. And some advice I learned in my last relationship that definitely benefited the relationship. I understand the relationship did not end very well, but for many years it was great. The summary phrase is water the flowers.
Yeah.
And breaking it down, it's like, if you plant a seed and it turns into a flower, turns into a plant, once it's done that, once it's done what it needed to do, you don't get to just fucking walk away from it, or else it's gonna die.
Yep.
Great, you created this awesome thing, that it needs maintenance, it needs care. A relationship will always need that. It will never just survive on its own. If you think that, it's going to crumble. So it's like, how come my relationship was so good and then one day just like the honeymoon phase was over and it just took a shit? If you look at the honeymoon phase like it's something that naturally occurs, that's where you go wrong. The honeymoon stage is because you're putting in extra effort. And I think when the honeymoon phase dwindles, it's because both people are putting in less and less effort and trying to run this thing on autopilot. And so like the honeymoon phase starts going away because your effort goes away. And in a relationship, it's important. I always see this, like a lot of times when relationships start taking a downturn, it's because one person started holding up their end of the bargain a little less, started treating that person a little less than normal. And what happens is most people lack the perspective and start reciprocating the exact same.
Well, it's matching and mirroring. That's
exactly.
That is literally, it's a natural occurrence. It's building rapport.
It's in human nature.
Yeah.
We do it with everyone.
You mimic.
And so what happens is one person starts treating them a little worse, the other one starts like treating them a little worse, and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, you're like, why are we both treating each other like shit? What happened? You started treating me like shit. And it's always the blame on the first person, which maybe you can. But I'll blame the second person for mimicking that just as bad.
Or not having the communication skills enough to bring it up and say, what's going on?
Exactly.
You know, that's a big one, is the communication aspect.
And I just I so desperately wish people understood that, like, every day of a relationship is making that effort. It's not getting comfortable. You cannot get comfortable. You always need to chase. Like, every day should be a chase. Just like every day you need to water your flowers. Okay, especially me. Like, I don't know how to fucking take care of plants, dude.
I know.
It's hard. I feel like every day I'm going to lose it. So I work hard to keep them. You see my little cactus in there? Jack?
Yeah.
We've almost lost him 20 times.
I mean, he's pretty much dead.
No, he's going.
Duh.
And listen, I'm going to keep him going because I'm going to put in I forget to water him a lot.
Yeah,
sometimes I go months without watering him.
No, I've been watering him, actually.
Yeah, I'm better with women than cactuses, I've learned.
I know, I've been taking care of your cactuses while you chase
That's
women.
so kind. Yeah, I chase so many women.
I know.
I'm such a
All
dog.
the women chasers.
I'm a dog.
I'm a dog.
But no, I just think you need to water your flowers, dude.
I think the best advice I ever got, and I get, what's funny is I get the same advice from anybody who's in a long-term, really good relationship.
That's a good sign.
It
must be good advice.
It's the same advice, and it's, once you're in a relationship, you need to keep dating the person.
Always.
You need to keep dating. You need to keep dating the person as long as you're in the relationship. You have to see it, because when you're in the dating phase, everything is good and you're spending time with each other. You're getting to know each other. You're communicating. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of back and forth. There's banter. There's all that stuff. All of the best relationships, and we'll bring it back to one of our guests, Ben.
Yeah.
That was one of his first bits of advice for me when I asked him. He was like, "You need to keep dating." Like,
I remember that he said that.
Yeah, you need to keep dating her. Like, that's how it works. I mean, I've gotten that information from him. I've gotten that information from my buddy Jerome. Shout out Jerome. And Lainey.
I've heard a lot of like public speakers talk about that too.
Public speakers as well.
Great
my
marriages.
parents, my dad and my mom have been married for 30-something years. Like,
those are good people.
That's my dad's always just like, date. You have to date your wife.
Yeah.
Like, and I've found that so true with everybody that I know that's in a long-term, very serious, good, loving relationship. They're still dating.
Yeah, I agree.
They could have kids, they could have lives, they could have jobs, but they still, one of our idols, Rob Dyrdek,
makes time for him and his wife.
to date his wife.
Sometimes you got to drop your kids off at daycare.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, and when I say dating, like, it doesn't have to be like date night, like set up like that. Like, dude, go for a drive.
Yeah, anything. Listen to music.
Like,
go on a picnic.
Like, and I have friends right now who are like in like really fun relationships where they post stories. They're both reading.
Yeah.
They just sit there and they take a snap across from each other, each reading a book.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
like, that is sick.
Yeah.
Like, bettering yourself with your significant other. You don't even have to talk. You're just in each other's presence.
They better discuss at the end.
I would hope.
They better have like a little book club.
They just close the books.
They go separate directions.
Yeah.
They drove separately.
Exactly.
Hey, you want to meet me here to read?
Yeah, I'll hit you up later. Coffee shop? Solid.
Hun,
Right.
I'm in the living room. Yeah.
Shh. I'm in the bathroom. Just go right there.
No, I think you're right. I think that is very, very good advice, is you can never stop dating.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. That's prominent.
Yeah.
I feel inspired right now.
We should go get girlfriends. If we stop hanging out together.
We hang out too much, dude.
This is why we don't have girlfriends.
I've had a girlfriend for a year.
Who?
Jessica.
Why haven't I heard about
Paparazzi,
Jessica?
dude. They've been trying to get me, but they can't figure it out. Could
Paparazzi.
you imagine if I finesse that hard? I've learned too, like, I've definitely always thought about keeping my next relationship private, and I like I don't know realistically how well that's gonna go.
I really
I don't know if I know how to do that.
I really like admired Max Tuning. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Max Tuning, because he was in a relationship with a girl for
His current girl?
His current girl, yeah. He was in a relationship with her for like 6 months before anybody knew. Like his thing is he always joked about wanting a girlfriend, even when he was with her. Yeah, and
cool.
so everybody kept like kind of being like, oh, Max is, and he was like, the amount of DMs I got from people being like, hey, like I've got a really cute sister, or I've got this, and he's just like, nah, I think I'm all right. But they're like, you want to stop like joking about it at this point? But apparently he was dating this girl the entire time, and then officially he was like, all right, bring it out of the woodwork, like, hey, how's it going? So this has been my girlfriend for a while, like da. So.
I mean, 6 months is...
I think you could keep it under wraps. No, I think you could keep it under wraps. And also, it's like, with the space that you're in, it's... Sorry.
We're so mature.
Yeah, I know. With the space... This is why we don't have girlfriends. With the space that you're in, it's hard to keep it under wraps, but it's also... I feel like you're so excited and you're so proud of the girl that you're with, like, that you would be excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like it would be hard for you to like keep it under wraps because you just be like, no, like this is a part of my life, and you're very
I'm
very
like
transparent.
I always document my life. It would be so tough to like not share it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, like I'm just not big enough yet where like it'd be an issue. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you get past a certain point where like people are gonna find out.
Yeah.
One person if you're big enough for somebody to expose it. That's where you can't do it. For me, it's like no one gives a fuck. I could run into fans with a girl, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, Jordan has a girl." Who cares? It's not like they're gonna go post it on fucking Instagram and be like, "Jordan and his new boo," and also like no one fucking knows. You know what I mean? Like I'd be hanging out with shawties all the time, dude.
Me?
Yeah, no. But this brings me to another thought. I learned about something the other day.
Okay.
I learned that there's a word for it. There's an explanation for it. You ever seen when like couples, typically like someone in MySpace. Not MySpace, the platform. That's classic mix-up.
That is my area.
Someone in social media, it's typically that. Where they have a significant other and they just post these like very sly photos where you'll never get to see who it is. I didn't know that was like a thing. People like there's a name for it. Do I know what the name is? No.
Incognito.
No, that's the mode on your phone, I think. But no, there's literally a name for it. And honestly, I think that's funny. Like, if I kept the relationship secret, that's what I would do, because that's funny to me, is like, put it in people's faces that, like, you don't get to know.
I forgot who did that one time. They did that for the longest time, and they kept, every time they posted a picture, they'd post their face on the person's face. Like, they'd like...
Oh, that's even funnier.
They'd pick stitch it or whatever it's called. And so they're always just, like doing, like... their face and then their face is like, man, I'm in love with this girl, and it's like their face posted over it and be like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and it'd be like a reel and it'd pull back and it'd just be a picture of them.
That's awesome.
And I was just like, oh, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but they still do that today.
See, I wouldn't do that where like I'm blurring someone's face out. If they're in the photo, like if you're trying to keep a relationship private and they're in the photo, like just don't post the photo.
Yeah.
I like it where it's just sly. It's like you post a selfie and there's like this girl far back in your house and they're like, you can't see her, like who is that?
Yeah.
That to me is funny.
I think another one was somebody who was like, meet my new girlfriend, and it was a picture of them holding hands, but it was just their silhouette, or it was them and they're holding hands and all you could see was the girl's hand, because they just took a picture of themselves. They're like, isn't she gorgeous?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's just this boy.
Yeah.
It's just him and his boys holding hands.
Oh,
Fucking A. I mean, yeah, you guys asked for the relationship episode.
Here's one thing I got asked the other day, and I wanted to get your opinion on it.
I have a good opinion.
Okay. Where is it?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, okay. What's your take on flirting? Is there a right... Here's... Okay, so the question was asked in like 6 different ways, and I couldn't like... I was trying to figure it out because it was one question, but it was like a paragraph.
Was this asked to you in person?
This was asked in a Instagram DM.
Oh, okay.
From a young man. And he was like...
You helped him out?
I did.
Good.
He asked, first off, hey Scotty, I'm wondering how you flirt with people.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, is there actually a right and a wrong way to flirt?
No.
Is there a right and a wrong place to flirt?
Yes.
And
don't be flirting at a funeral.
And then
go home.
And then third was, like, how do you build the confidence, and how do you know that they actually are okay with you flirting with them?
Okay. I'll touch on all of these.
Yes.
Is there a right and wrong way to flirt? Absolutely not. My way of flirting is giving people a hard time, just the kindergarten method. It's how I flirt with my friends. like shooting the shit, talking shit. Like that to me, that is so fun. It's like I am all I've got is wit, dude. That's
Yeah.
all I am. I'm just a man with some wit. If you're ever wondering what I did in my life, that's it.
One thing you guys really need to know, like, quick tangent, sidebar here. When you see him on his videos, that's not a show. Like, it's an upped version of him. He is like that. Like,
I am almost too comedic in my day-to-day. It's a problem almost in my head.
And what's hard is, like, you and I are both so sarcastic, so I know you.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, when we say shit, I realize people don't know us.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Yeah, but besides the point, flirting.
No, but I will touch on that. I will say one last thing is, like, I definitely have a serious side that comes out quite often. It just really depends on the situation. Like, and I was thinking about, like when I interact with fans, when I meet fans. There's been times when I meet fans and I'm just, like, in a mood that day where I'm just calm and collected and, like, I just want to be more civil.
Yeah.
And there are moods where I just am still in character with fans. Like, I'm just being funny. Because it just depends on my mood in the day. And, like, I will never change that for a scenario.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who I'm around. I always tell people, like, if I'm at some bougie-ass fucking dinner, like, I don't like table manners. Table manners to me are stupid. It's a bunch of rules. I'll have good manners. I'm not going to fucking chew my mouth open. But, like, I don't like following rules if they go against me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be me.
Exactly.
Besides the point.
Yes.
My way of flirting is just giving people a hard time. I'm super good at picking out little things. Like, if you fuck up a word, I'm going to say it. Same way that is, like, if someone... It's just, like... It's just banter, but it's, like, that friendly, like... I don't know if it builds, like, a rapport with somebody, but, like, it definitely is just, like...
That was like a rap lyric. A rapport.
But I don't know why it works, but it's just what I do, and it's just how I enjoy it, and it gets the point across that, like, I can give you a hard time, and I care about you.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, which most people just think, hey, like, why is he being so mean? You know what I mean? And maybe that stems from our little kindergarten selves. Like, you're the meanest to the girls you thought were the coolest. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think flirting is very important with confidence.
Yes.
God, we talk about the same underlying... I mean, these are important.
These are really... But I think the reason we keep talking about them, and you guys can give us more topics you want us to discuss, but the reason we talk about it is because it's our life, dude. Like, we're literally talking about us.
The things that we experience.
We experience and we know.
Things we've learned, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think, like, you cannot go into a situation flirting with a girl thinking about whether or not she's going to be okay with you flirting. Mm-hmm. Here's another thing I do. Well, I say I do, but I don't hit on girls ever, so I would do. I always think about this. Like, if I go up to a girl and you want to... Again, I wouldn't even, like, start flirting off the bat. Like, you can be, like, a human first. Yeah. Don't just walk up and start flirting, because it might come off like catcalling in a way. Mm-hmm. Again, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I like to take a genuine approach and, like, bring my most genuine self first. Mm-hmm. You'll learn, I'm funny. You'll learn that. You know what I mean? But, like, when you go up and, like, give someone a compliment, they might have a boyfriend. They might not be interested. Make that clear. Like we always talk about, like, whenever I'm uncomfortable, I talk about it, and it makes it, and I find comfort in the discomfort. Like, hey, I just thought you were super pretty. Like, that's all. Like, nothing else. Just want to let you know that. And even if it's like, oh, I have a boyfriend, it's, like, totally cool. Yeah. And, like, even in my video, I was like, hey, he's a lucky man. Like, you don't need to be worried about them. If you approach it right, no one's gonna not be okay with it. Yeah. Unless it does come off, like I said, rude or catcalling. Exactly. That's when then don't do it in the first place.
And I also think a big part of flirting is being, I'm the same way as you. Like, you have to start somewhere. You can't just go into it. Yeah. But your first comment always has to be something authentic that you actually like about the person. Like, don't go up and just be like, "You're pretty." Like, that doesn't, like...
Why'd you say that?
You're pretty.
You're pretty.
You're pretty. She's pretty.
I mean, you could try that.
You could. I mean, it'd be funny. But...
Also, if you talk like that, you might just be trying to tell her she's pretty.
Exactly.
And then she just says, "You're pretty."
You're pretty. Yeah. But it's, like, find something you genuinely admire about the person. Like, we were talking about my thing the other day at the coffee shop when I talked to that girl. There was nothing behind me trying to flirt with that girl, but it came out, it was a flirt. Because
what you thought in your head.
It was what I thought in my head. I walked by her and she had a very genuine, welcoming smile. And so I'm going to tell her, you have a very genuine and welcoming smile. That girl has probably never heard that in her life.
You should have walked up and said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I just want to let you know you're welcome as well." She'd be like, "What do you mean?" I'd be like, "I don't know. I felt welcome. I just want to let you know you're also welcome."
You enticed me. You brought me in, but you're welcome.
It's mutual.
It's a mutual love. But no, it's like start with something super genuine that you actually like about the person, because people want to hear real compliments. Like we all know this, like the superficial compliments.
Yeah.
But it's like if you give somebody a real compliment on something that, maybe they know in their head that they like that about themselves, and you call it and you're like, you have a really good looking smile.
Yeah.
Or you're like, because everybody's used, oh, your eyes are nice, but like it's like give them something a little bit more than that.
I'll be honest, I was told one time that my mind is one of my attractive attributes, and
it's a sexy comment.
Got me, dude.
It's a sexy comment.
I was like, listen, dude, you tell me I'm ugly as fuck and follow it up with that, and I'm good to go.
You want to hear one of mine?
Yeah, talk to me, dude.
I was talking to a girl one time, and she's like, there's something just really attractive about wisdom, and you're super wise. And I was like, just melt.
You're like 80 years old?
Yeah, I was like
I'm so old.
Then I stood up and I grabbed my can. I was like, thank you, dear. And I just
and I walked away.
I tapped my
with your little your snake handle.
Exactly.
And then it was 9:30. I sent her home and I went to bed.
I put my scarf on, my top hat, and I was like, good day.
I put my second vest on. Exactly. Oh fuck. No, but I do think there is certain compliments, and I think unfortunately there's cliches. So it's like, if you really do think a girl's pretty, it's gonna be a rough one to tell her. Yeah. She hears it all the time.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Like,
find a way to say it.
Yeah.
Though.
If I were to go up to a girl, like, hey, I know you probably hear this all the time.
Yeah.
Or hey, I know we're at the gym right now where I'm not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
But like, there's ways to preface things like you do in the world with people to like lighten the mood almost and give more context to what you mean.
Exactly. And it's also like, if you're like us where you're sarcastic and you don't have any pressure behind it, say something stupid. Like, like
on purpose.
On purpose. Like, I'll do it all the time. I'll go up to somebody and I'll start talking to them, and if all I've got is like, you're pretty, I will find a way to say it's like, I know I'm gorgeous, but there's something about you that trumps me.
Yeah.
Just like something stupid.
She's like, all right, this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, dude, 100%. But it's just like, like I thought I was pretty until I saw you.
Yeah.
Kind of like something dumb like that.
Something memorable.
Exactly, where it's just like, that was really weird kind of thing. Like, I like that kind of stuff. And do you like it when girls flirt with you, like come to you and start flirting?
Yeah, of course.
For the longest
time,
respect. I love it too. For the longest time, I wasn't used to it. And I remember the first girl who was flirting with me, I thought she was just being a dick. And I was like, oh, like
she's just like fucking you off,
ripping me apart. And I was like, wow. And then later
if that happened to me, dude, I was
gassed because what was weird was it was happening and I was kind of into it. And I was like, oh, it hit me again.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and I was like, that was kind of weird, but I like that. I like it when girls have banter, and I think it's more of a comfort. If you have comfort in talking to me, I find that extremely attractive.
Yeah, it's confidence.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You really just find the confidence attractive.
Exactly.
I think another thing, too, I've learned recently is, like, I don't enjoy, complimenting physical attributes because it feels just so basic.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a beautiful girl. It's like, that she hears it all the time. Mm-hmm. So, another take is, like, go up to the girl and be like, hey, like, you're gorgeous, obviously, but I'm trying to compliment your personality. Like, let me learn something about you. Give me a way to compliment your personality. Like, there's so many ways to approach women, but just do it organically. That's why, you know what I fucking hate? Pickup lines are the stupidest shit in the world to me.
Yeah.
People who genuinely use pickup lines are idiots. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
If a girl came up to me and used a pickup line, I would honestly just go away. Don't do that to me.
I like to get girls thinking. So I do the same thing where if all I have is you're pretty, like I'll sit down and be like, you look like you have a lot of depth. Tell me something I don't know.
That's great. That's just awesome.
Tell me something I don't know, and I will literally sit down. Like if you were doing something, I will be like, you look like you have a lot of depth. And they'll be like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, just tell me something. I'll sit down and just have them start talking.
She's still standing. Yeah. Scotty just sits down on a chair.
On the floor. I'm looking up at her.
Crisscross?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, if you can pick up a girl crisscross applesauce,
you're a beast.
Fuck.
You're a beast. Just
but no,
here, take a seat.
I do think it comes down to like, what is your personality, and figure out a way to use your personality mixed with something you actually thought about the person. And again, just keep it organic. Like, the less authentic you are, the more it's going to translate shitty. In my mind.
It'd be a really good video.
Huh.
Just going out in public and then just like shaking their hands and be like, mind if we have a conversation really quick? And they're like, yeah, and just be like, have a seat. You just both sit down. You just sit down crisscross applesauce. Like, no, please join me. Just
trying to get people to sit crisscross applesauce with you
and have a conversation.
That'd actually be a good video. I don't think with women, just everyone.
No, just everybody in general. Yeah, dogs.
A teacher. What?
Yeah.
Dogs do crisscross?
Probably.
I'm sure this video is like a dog who lost feeling in his legs, and when he sits, they kind of just like cross.
I mean, Rory kind of like sits and like kicks his leg out.
I love that the dog chicken.
Yeah.
The chicken lay. I call it the chicken lay. When there's just 2 little chicken legs.
Yep.
A couple pieces of ham.
Oh.
Turkey on the bone.
Oh.
I love that, dude. And Rory's jacked as fuck, so
Rory's
it's
got
just
some
cheeks.
hams.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a honey
Probably
baked ham.
shouldn't say cheeks like that, but
Yeah.
I think the intent was pure.
That's all right.
Today episode like a dating coaching with Jordan, the 2 most single men in
Very true.
Learn how to date.
So if you
from
want
2
girlfriends,
single guys.
if you want girlfriends, don't ask us.
If you want girlfriends, don't take any of the advice you just heard.
You might want to find somebody else on YouTube.
Nah, we're experienced.
Yeah.
Listen, I just say get confident, dude.
That's
if you
it.
get confident, I swear, dude, you could be a fucking 3. A confident 3 is a 10.
And
I
understand.
can't 3 might be a
Understand yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one because like if you can understand yourself, it's a lot easier to portray it to people. You know, you have to know what you're bringing to the table before you can go after people. And not even go after people, before you can attract someone. You have to know who you are.
That's another reason, dude, I'm so confident in relationships. Like, my thing is I just am good at treating people well.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in a relationship and I just already know, I'm like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, it's so arrogant. It's so arrogant. I know, but I mean it well.
And my life, I'm just like, I'm going to mother the fuck out of you.
No, literally, I'm going to nurture the fuck out of you.
I'm going to nurture the fuck
No,
out
but
of
literally,
you.
I love myself so much.
Yeah.
I don't mean it in an arrogant way.
No, you should.
I go into relationships feeling like, you're the lucky winner.
Yeah.
You could win. You could win this right
Well,
now.
'cause, like, if you love yourself, you can transfer love. The people who can't transfer love don't love themselves.
100%.
You know? And so if you have that and you're able to be like, man, like, if you're able to sit in a room with yourself and just be okay and be like, you know what, I'm all right being alone.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to portray that very, very well, and you're going to be able to give outwardly in a way that most people can't do it.
No, I agree.
So,
I've been drawing on this table in my mind.
no, it's a...
Look, I'm creating a puzzle. I don't know, man. Just, you gotta back up your, like, if you want confidence, you gotta give yourself a reason to be confident.
Yep.
I think if you're one of those people where you're just like, no one will ever love me. No, like, no one will love me. I suck. It's like, figure out why you believe that about yourself. A, you might be the greatest person in the world, and your mindset's fucked. Or B, you might suck and know you suck. So fucking fix
Change it.
yourself. Like,
Yeah.
like, we can change.
And that's like one of the coolest parts about that is like, if you come to the realization like, man, I suck, that's the first step to not sucking.
It's a great realization.
That's a great realization because now you know, and then it just stems to identifying why you suck and why you believe that. And once you can pick that apart, it's like, dude, fix it.
They're usually easy fixes too.
Fix it.
You know, it's like, I'm kind of a dick.
And it's like, it's a habit to break.
Yeah.
But now that you've like brought it to your attention, you're aware of it. And so when you do it, it's like being more cognizant and slowing yourself down and going, okay, in this moment, I'm an asshole. I need to slow myself down and not be an asshole.
Yeah, and then you'll start realizing like, oh wow, I'm an asshole quite often.
Yes.
It's like you, dude. I always tell you all the time, like, Scotty, you're an
Oh,
asshole.
I'm a prick.
This is really fun. I think we should do a part 2 to this.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. We did say that with the Ambry episode, we were going to do more relationships. I mean, remember, she brought her whole little post-it note.
She does
things.
still have it, yeah.
So
She's
we
been-
could make... Now we've got 2 part 2s, so we'll just do a third and final conglomerate episode.
Yep.
That's a big... Conglomerate's not the right
Conglomerate.
word.
Yeah.
Conglomerate.
Conglomerate. Hey.
Conglomerate.
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 And then we take our canes
Yeah.
and we walk away.